The fluorescent lights overhead buzzed with the weary insistence of dying insects. Ethan blinked, the sterile white glow of his apartment bathroom replaced by an oppressive, sickly yellow. The familiar, cool tile under his bare feet was gone. Instead, rough, damp carpet fibers, the color of stale mustard, pressed against his soles. The air hung thick and still, carrying a scent like wet plaster and mildew left to rot in a forgotten attic. It wasn't just a smell, it felt heavy, coating the back of his throat. "I'm in the Backrooms," Ethan said. He stood in a corridor. Identical yellow walls stretched away in both directions, punctuated at irregular intervals by identical. Featureless doorways leading into deeper shadow. Above, the buzzing lights flickered inconsistently, casting long, trembling shadows that seemed to crawl across the damp wallpaper. The ceiling was lost in a grid of acoustic tiles, stained with watermarks that resembled continents on a decaying map. Silence pressed in, a physical weight, broken only by the maddening, omnipresent hum of the lights, and the faint rhythmic drip of water echoing from somewhere impossibly far away. Knock-lip. The term surfaced from a half-remembered creepypasta forum, dismissed as nonsense. Yet one moment he'd been reaching for the shower curtain rod after stepping out of the tub, his foot slipping slightly on a wet patch. The next, panic, cold and sharp, pricked at his nerves. He spun around, searching for the familiar chrome of the faucet, the white porcelain. Only endless yellow greeted him, called out, his voice swallowed instantly by the suffocating atmosphere, leaving no echo, no trace. The silence rushed back in, heavier than before. Reason warred with primal fear. Move, find a way out. He chose a direction arbitrarily left. The damp carpet squelched faintly under his socks. The air grew marginally cooler as he passed doorways, peering into dark rooms filled only with more yellow walls. Piles of discarded insulation like dirty snowdrifts or empty spaces humming with vacancy. Nothing identifiable. No windows, no exits. Just the endless, monotonous maze. The buzzing intensified in patches, making his teeth ache. He found a room slightly larger than the corridors, containing only a single, overturned office chair missing 2 wheels. Useless. Time lost meaning. Minutes bled into hours, measured only by the growing ache in his feet and the insistent dryness in his mouth. The oppressive silence began to play tricks. Was that a shuffle behind him? It's just the settling of the building? He told himself. The sound unnaturally loud in the stillness. He found a discarded plastic bottle, empty and crushed. Hope flared, then died. He kept walking, the sameness of the corridors a psychological torture. He noticed patches of darker dampness on the walls, slick with moisture that smelled faintly metallic. He avoided touching them. Then, a sound unlike any before sliced through the hum. A low, guttural moan, resonant and hollow, like wind forced through a massive broken pipe. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Ethan froze, heart hammering against his ribs. The sound faded, leaving a deeper silence in its wake. He waited, straining his ears. Nothing. He forced his legs to move, quickening his pace. The air felt colder now. 5 minutes later it came again, closer. This time accompanied by a heavy, dragging sound thump. Scrape thump. Scrape like something immense and clumsy being hauled across the carpet. Adrenaline surged, cold and electric. He broke into a jog, the damp carpet threatening to trip him. He glanced back. The corridor behind remained empty, bathed in the same flickering yellow light. But the sounds grew louder, more insistent. The moan became a growl, vibrating through the floorboards. He sprinted. Fear lent wings to his feet. He ducked through doorways, took random turns, desperate to put distance between himself and the unseen pursuer. The dragging sound kept pace. Relentless, sometimes seeming right behind him, sometimes echoing from a parallel corridor. He burst into a junction where 3 corridors met. A strange, acrid smell hit him like ammonia and burnt hair. He chose the leftmost path, the one that seemed to curve away from the dragging sound, ran until his lungs burned finally. Collapsing against a wall in a dead-end corridor, gasping for breath. The sounds faded, seeming to move away, slumped, trembling, pressing his back against the cool, damp wallpaper. He was utterly lost. The run had intensified his thirst. It was a raw scrape in his throat. He pushed himself up, forcing himself to explore the dead end more carefully. Behind a pile of discarded, yellowed insulation near the end wall, half hidden in the gloom, he spotted something. Small unmarked cardboard box. Hope, fragile and desperate, flickered. He pulled the box out, tearing it open. Inside were 6 small, clear glass bottles, filled with a pale, milky liquid. Almond water. Another term from the forum surfaced. A safe drink? Or poison? His thirst screamed at him. The liquid looked innocuous. He uncorked one bottle. The smell was faintly nutty, clean. He took a hesitant sip. It was cool, slightly. Sweet and utterly refreshing, instantly soothing his parched throat. Relief washed over him. A small victory in the oppressive yellow hell. He drank the entire bottle slowly, savoring it, then carefully placed the remaining 5 in the pockets of his sweatpants. Precious resources. Revitalized, he retraced his steps to the junction. The ammonia smell was fainter now. He took the central corridor this time, moving cautiously. He found another small room containing only a dusty, outdated computer monitor. Its screen dark and cracked, useless. He pressed on, the endless corridors blurring together. He noticed strange, dark stains on the carpet in one stretch like dried oil. He avoided stepping on them. He turned a corner and stopped. The corridor ended not in another yellow expanse, but in a dead end dominated by a single, incongruous structure. An elevator. Looked old, its brushed steel doors streaked with grime and faint fingerprints. A single dim bulb flickered weakly above it, casting long, dancing shadows. The control panel beside it was simple. An up button, a down button, and a worn call button. No floor indicators, just arrows. This was new. This was different. This was potentially a way out of the fluorescent nightmare, or a deeper descent. The silence pressed in again, heavier than ever, broken only by the erratic flicker of the bulb. Above the elevator, and the distant, ever-present buzz of the lights, the encounter with the unseen howler, the discovery of the almond water, sheer, oppressive weight of level 0, it all coalesced into a single imperative. Move. He approached the elevator cautiously. The steel felt unnervingly cold under his fingertips. He hesitated for only a second, the image of the unseen, dragging things surfacing in his mind. He pressed the call button. A dull clunk echoed from within the shaft, followed by the faint, groaning whine of ancient machinery stirring to life. Gears engaged with a metallic screech that set his teeth on edge. Something was coming down or up. He stepped back, muscles tensed, eyes fixed on the grimy slit between the elevator doors. The whining grew louder, accompanied by the rhythmic thump-thump-thump of the car descending the shaft. It stopped with a final, jarring clang. A moment of absolute silence hung